The next is the income tax international coordination. The income tax is a tax levied on the income from the factors of the production. With the transnational flow of factors of production, the income of the factors of production began to be internationalized. So the income tax also appeared an international tax problem. The international liquidity of the capital is the strongest among the factors of the production. The tax sovereignty of a country in taxation, which is reflected in the government's rights to decide who to tax upon, and what to tax upon, and how much to tax upon. And the income tax is a type of tax on people. And whose the tax power can be extended to the foreign countries because of taxpayers' transnational income. Therefore, become the perspective of scope of taxation. The tax jurisdiction of the income tax mainly falls into two categories. The first is district jurisdiction, which means the government taxes all income within its territory, including both the domestic and the foreign residents. Second, the resident jurisdiction means that the government of the country has the right to tax on all income derived by its own residents, including both domestic and foreign income. At present, the type of income tax jurisdiction are not exactly the same in the countries all over the world, but most countries exercise the above-mentioned two types of tax jurisdiction at the same time, which is mainly related to the countries from their own can be extended due to the taxpayer cross-border taxable income. From the types of income tax jurisdiction of the countries in the world are not exactly the same, but most countries exercise above-mentioned two types of tax jurisdiction at the same time, which is mainly considered by the countries concerned from its own financial rights and interests, because under the open economic condition, on the one hand, there is a large amount of domestic capital export, and on the other hand, there is a large amount of foreign capital inflow. If only the implementation of the single tax jurisdiction, there is bound to be a part of tax revenue outflow. When a country has two tax jurisdictions, it means that it has jurisdiction over the domestic income of its residents and the foreign income of its residents. From the scope of the taxation, the sovereignty of the income tax can be classified into two categories. First is the district jurisdiction. That is, the government of country levy tax on all income within its territory. And the residency jurisdiction means the government of a country have the right to tax all incomes derived by its own residence, including both domestic and foreign incomes. The types of income tax jurisdiction of what country are not exactly the same, and most countries exercise the two types of the tax jurisdiction at the same time. That is, it has jurisdiction over the domestic income of its residents and the foreign income of its residents, and the domestic income of foreign residents at the same time. So all countries apply the two types of tax jurisdiction at the same time will cause double taxation. In order to achieve the balance of international capital market and guarantee the reasonable flow of capital, it is very necessary for all countries to implement a unified and single tax jurisdiction. When the countries exercise multiple tax jurisdiction, it is necessary for the international community to coordinate to some extent. To harmonize the national tax jurisdiction, the question of that criteria should be used to tax income from cross-border investment must first be addressed. The transnational income involves the source countries of income and the residence countries of the investors. If the tax jurisdiction of two countries is not coordinated, the transnational investment income can easily be double taxed, thus bearing the tax burden of the two countries. But harmonizing the tax powers of the two countries is not about not taxing the transnational income, but rather about reasonably taxing it. So it's a question of which country's tax burden level should be harmonized. And according to the tax burden level of the country of origin, the tax burden of transnational investments income is same as the local investment income of the country of origin. And this coordination principle is the principle of source. According to the tax burden level of country of residence, the tax burden level of transnational investment income should be same as the local investment income of the country's residents. So this can also called this principle called the original of the place of the residence. When the principle of tax jurisdiction is clarified, the relevant country can take corresponding measures to coordinate. So in order to implement the principle of the source, countries may, in the case of conflicting the jurisdictions, adapt the methods of exempt from tax on the foreign income, so that the transnational investment income of each other only bear the tax of the country of the origin. In order to implement the principle of residence, countries can be used in the case of overlapping tax jurisdiction of the foreign tax credit. At the same time, the source of the transnational investment income tax first. The country of our residence in the foreign income tax to the local residents to allow its use of outside taxes paid abroad should pay taxes in their home countries, making the transnational investment income finally, according to the country's burden level, negative